You heard from your husband, who's a photographer for the New York Times. What was going on? Pick up the story. What did you do?
Well, I actually called him to let him know what was going on. I had heard word of what was happening, checked in with the AFP Nairobi Bureau, and then gathered my protective gear and cameras and got down to the scene as quickly as possible. Once I arrived there, I quickly realized that this was pretty serious. There were people running out of the mall, holding each other, crying. And as I got closer, I saw some ad hoc first aid stations set up, strangers trying to help each other into any cars, getting injured victims on their way to the hospital as soon as possible.
And you were courageous enough to go inside. Were security forces already on the scene? What was it like when you got there?
When I arrived, there were already security forces on the scene. It was unclear exactly what the situation was inside the mall, but I knew that I wanted to try and get inside if possible to cover the scene from inside the mall. I was able to gain access before they completely sealed it off and join up with a security team that was going from shop to shop into the cinema, trying to clear the mall of innocent victims who had been trapped inside, held as hostage, and also looking for the remaining attackers.
What about those who were evacuated? How did that go? What did your eyewitness account explain what you saw?
The scene in the mall was really surreal. There were, from our vantage point on the third floor, you could see bodies of victims on both the second and first floor. There was sporadic gunfire. It seemed like every store you went into, everywhere you looked, there were people who were trying to hide from the attackers. It was really a strange and unreal scene to see this horrific terror take place in a place that I personally frequent as a resident of Nairobi. It really was surreal to see it turned into a scene of terror.